Hi, I'm Terry Tenko and I'm here to show you around Woodlarks campsite. Only joking, it's Hamish, your camp leader, in this fetching canvas rain covering. So I've been asked to do a video, a walking tour of the campsite to share from the developments that have been going on, and I would like to start with this development in fashion. No, this door, can anyone spot the difference? Lots of us on camp, it's taken us a long time, but where we used to have the sort of half double weird door combo, we've now got a very nice solid one-piece door which keeps the heat in, opens up nice and easily. Nick and Matt are having a chat there. I'm just going to hook this back. Okay, now, so I think we can go.
Okay.
So starting, coming down to the keep, and this is a new tent base for another white frame tent. We've been working very hard. You can see the ramps being put in there, lots of good work, sterling work going on. And we're going to walk this way to the lovely herb garden, very overgrown, but a great haven for bees and bugs at the minute. We'll show you where they can stay for very cheap accommodation at the Bug Hotel in the woods. Here we have a lovely gazebo covering a patio area which is being built, and this is going to be for a brand new water feature and a nice sort of statement piece to lead us into Bradbury Croft. Over the winter months, when the season's closed, we have these lovely coverings over the donation bricks where people are listed on the top of the brick. Coming up into Bradbury Croft, we've had a few problems with sheets of glass falling through. Obviously that's got to be made safe before we hold our next Mafia poker night out here. We don't want any accidents. So those are being replaced, decobwebbed and cleaned. We're gonna, medical room. Isla, you asked us to see this. Medical room is pretty much exactly the same, no major changes in here. Moving swiftly on. Sorry Mouse, can you just stay a bit back, because there is a 2-metre social distancing in effect here, and on entering the building, make sure we use the hand sanitizer.
Of course.
That's empty, there's nothing there. So, Bradbury Croft, the main feature that I want to show you is in this amazing bathroom here. You can make it engaged. And we're going to engage with this very fetching piece of wall art. Now, it's called White Rock. It's neither white nor a rock, but it's sort of like, I don't know, it's sort of like a laminate wallpaper of this amazing forest scene. And now if I'm sat here on the toilet with my vanity coat, you know, considering that you have an excellent view into the woods. It's a really, really nice touch. So hopefully more of those, please. That's what our donations could go towards. Walking through Bradbury Croft, some nice artwork here of what goes on. A bit more abstract on this wall, but really nice that we've got other camps and campus artwork sprucing the place up. We're now going to go for a walk onto the top field. Come follow me. We've got the sway. Okay, on the sway. Oh no, I know, let's go through the old wash block. Old wash block, lots of work going on here. Wood, cement bags ready for building work. Basically, there are new shower rooms coming in. Still our regular toilets, etc. But down this end of the wash block now, so if we come down here, a bit of a general dumping area, a bit of dead space. So actually what's going to happen is this area is going to have a couple of new showers, another sort of standing wet showers, some lovely new windows that have been put in all throughout the old block. Into the changing rooms here, you can also see new windows installed, which is very nice. Moving out, we proceed past the cement mixer onto the top field. I wonder if we can get into the old dorm, you can probably see through the window here, if you get up close, very much the same. Beds and things there, some sensory equipment that's been left in there, optic cabling for lights, etc. Still going strong, nothing needs repairing there.
Excellent.
Here we have the timber frame tent.
Wow.
That's the newest development and the biggest change for people to see. This is, as the name says on the tin, a timber frame tent. It's also been given lots of other names like Taj Mahal, the Pavilion, the Pleasure Palace, whatever you like really. It's a very multi-purpose space and it's really, really well done. If you come on through, huge space, enough space for all of these large picnic benches. And then looking up, a beautiful view into the ceiling. These sides will have canvas, so pretty much like what I'm wearing. And the canvas sides will come down and they'll be able to be rolled up. So you can sleep in here, it can be used as like a day room, a craft area, a performance space, lots of things. And the height of the beds, it's been designed so that when you've got a bed here, that you will basically be at the level of the window. So you'll be able to see straight out onto the field. So it's a really, really cool development. So now we're going to go across the top field. You can see the rakes where I had a very nasty accident yesterday. I did a classic stand on one end and smack myself in the head with the handle. It really, really hurt.
You can see our good weeding work here.
Yeah, lots of weeding that's been done, strimming around the tent. And you can see at the bottom of the tent here, we've got some bare patches which have been dug and made out ready for some slabs or paving to really help make that ramp nice and accessible to chairs. Again, lovely weeding going on there for planting. Flag flying high, and the chapel area, huge amount of debris comes down from the trees. Lots of the pine needles and the pine cones, and that took about 20-25 wheelbarrows of us scooping all of that up and out so that it's a nice space, and also helps prevent fire hazard of those things catching alight, which obviously would be quite a big disaster. So this is the other big change. Again, very exciting. The top field has been extended backwards and levelled. So this area here, which was once quite slopey for the swifts to sleep on, is now very flat and a huge amount more space all the way to this lovely rail coasting out fence towards the back. And if we come all the way back here and turn around, you can see where the old bit of the field sort of stopped and how much more space we've now got. And then this sort of new area, or levelling off, continues round the new chapel, and there's a lovely path that is very wide, very accessible for chairs, etc., to go up to the barbecue site round the corner. Now if we work our way down here, we have, this is the track that was normally quite bumpy and overgrown that you could access down to the pool. And I think the idea here is to again widen it and make it a bit more accessible for chairs. And also it means that getting to the top field from tents and things down to the pool, it's a much faster route down this way. So we come down here, and then in order to keep the gradient not too steep, we've cut a new path through the trees, through the woods. And we come back down round here. And then this is sort of where it joins into the old path, which again is hopefully going to be developed just to make it a little bit easier. We go all the way down, and we'll take a quick look at the pool now. There's builders doing a lot of work at the pool, so a bit be a bit noisy down there. So what I'm going to do is just explain as we go down what to expect. And the big change here, this is very dangerous going down backwards. The big change here, come with me, is that the pool is going to be leveled. So at the minute we've got a very deep end and obviously our shallow end, and instead we're going to have 1.2 meters at the deep end. So a lot of it's going to be filled in and made it much shallower, which may be a bit of a disappointment to some, particularly those who like to bomb and jump in. But it does mean that we don't need the lifeguards. So we'll always have people spotting and there, but it means that we can hold swim sessions and we're not tied down to making sure that we have to have people who are fully qualified lifeguards to run the pool, which is fantastic, which means we're a bit more flexible as when we can use it. The other thing that we're adding in is some more ramps, some better access to the pool so that we're not all going down the same way.
And more hoists.
Yeah, good point now. Right here, dump truck starting the filling in.
Ooh.
There, so this is aggregate, hard pour going down to start filling in at the bottom of the pool. And you can see the big gaps down the side of the pool. This is to allow better drainage and also a system so that debris that falls into the pool can be sucked and skimmed off automatically rather than by hand.
Ah,
so there we go.
Good work going on
And we
here.
will go up into the woods. I'm going in a bit of a lick because I don't want the video file size to be too big to upload into the page. So I'm trying to cut that time down.
There's lots of moss on the ground.
Yeah,
This is a
lots of
job
moss.
that needs to be done.
Now the moss can be very slitty when wet, so actually this is something that will need to be done at some point. And also the woods, because we haven't been here for 2 years and the paths haven't been used that much, there is a lot of overgrowth happening, which again will need to be at some point cut back because there are some areas in the woods which are almost being reclaimed by the nature. Here is the new Bug Hotel. Really nice slate roof over the top, and great for encouraging wildlife into the woods. And then why don't we go down and we'll have a look at the Alamo. So here's the Alamo site, and you can see lots of grass growing up, particularly in the corner over here. Like, it is really starting to get quite overgrown. Some small bushes and things growing back there, but still much the same, no major changes in here. But if we go down to the bird hide, you'll see that there's been a bit of renovation work that we've been doing over the last couple of days. And this is just to help stop the hide from rotting away over the long period where it hasn't been used. Because inside, when you open the door, there was quite a lot of mould growing on the wood. It was quite damp. So what we've had to do is give it a really thorough clean, and then we've stained the wood to make sure that it preserves and stays for a bit longer. So you can see, hopefully, with the change of light, that all of this wood, still very tacky. Is it ever going to dry? All of this wood has all been stained a much darker colour, and that is to help protect the wood from the damp and from it being outside. We've also given the windows a thorough clean because they were really green and grimy and dirty. And hopefully you can see we've hooked, for the moment, the camo netting up and over, and cleaned out the guttering around it and the drain ditch around the outside, just to make sure that it is in good state for when we come back to camp. Fantastic. So we'll continue through the woods. So this is one area where the moss has been quite problematic, because the gradient, how steep the slope is, can get steeper here. And even when we came up the other day and it was a bit wet, pushing wheelbarrows, which are probably lighter, well not probably, definitely lighter than chairs with campers in, was quite slippy and slidey, particularly going uphill. So that's why we really need to clean all of the floor off, particularly the moss and lichen, so that it's a much easier and safer way to move around the woods. And also, I don't know about you, but if I was in a chair coming through here and going past all this bracken, I think you might come out looking a bit like a bush or a tree. So just coming to the bottom of the path in the woods. And back round to the drive. You can probably hear the road in the background. And we've got here the path. If we just turn around, you can see the path that forks here. The one on the right goes up to the bird hide. The lower one goes towards the back of the woods, another campfire area. And then there's also this lower path, which is more of a recent addition, which I don't think many of you would have used or been on. And if you look, you can see that this one is more tarmac, or a newer tarmac, with the edges. These edges are really good here and very important as guide rails for visually impaired campers, so they can access the woods because they can feel their way along the side and won't stray off or have any accidents. So this is also a newer path going around the bottom that people can explore. And here we go past the dead tree, which we think was a lightning strike, but a key landmark for anyone as you approach Woodlarks and you come into the drive. It's one of the first things that you see. And here we are at the drive, ready to go up. The valley, where the bottom, our main campfire site, is looking really clean and has been cleared of lots of debris. And we've got the gates open, welcoming us if you're going up to camp. Because normally when you're coming in the car you start getting the tingly butterfly feelings at your back.
Lots of logs in here.
So we built the digger and the dumper up here. These are the guys that are building the pool, but because of the size of the track going down and where the pool is in the woods, it's very hard for all of the stones and the aggregate to be stored down there. So they're having to do lots of trips up and back down in order to get everything that they need down to the pool area. So then on Sandy's ride, oh yeah, that's all rubbish. So go to the tip. Again, lots of things that have been cleared out. So Sandy's ride, the aerial runway, the casing here, this has all been redone and made to look really, really nice. And then we take a walk, again this area very overgrown. Time capsule, remember, is just going to the left of us. If we come onto the viewing platform of the aerial runway, you can hopefully see here, you can look at all the bushes and trees and young saplings that have had to be cut back and removed in order to actually allow the chair access down the runway, because lots of these were grown right up and it was covered. You couldn't get the chair down, so that's taken quite a long time. And you can probably see by the top campfire site a lot of the trees and bushes ready to be burnt at some point on a big bonfire. Unfortunately not when we have our campfire this evening, because that would have been fun. Here we go, let's have a look at the digging.
Oh.
Stuff up again. Ready for the next trip back. Oh yeah. Let's see whether we can get away from the digger.
He's very focused on the task
I think
at
he's
hand.
too focused. We've
Very
missed our
focused.
opportunity.
It's important to be safe.
And that's about it really. So I think we've been all over and around camp. You've seen a lot of the developments and changes that are happening. And this is where all of the fundraising that we've been doing is really paying off, because all of this takes a lot to keep maintained. And it's just great to be able to be here and to be helping out, to know that when it comes to next year, we can all be on camp together and be enjoying it together as well. So thank you to everybody who has donated. Thank you for all of the donations that have come in, all of your support, all of the friends and families who have supported as well. It's really, really amazing and good work. Bye!